Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Get ready to go on an adventure of Freak the Mighty with real-life people.
We ask teachers about their own experiences with friendship, bullying, and more. Get ready to feel good about yourselves and your friends.
Have you ever been bullied or had a really good friend?
If either of those apply to you, you should watch our podcast, Freak the Mighty, a guide to friendship and bullying.
Join us today on our journey of friendship and bullying.
The book Freak the Mighty is about friendship, bullying, and growth. Our main characters, Max and Kevin, both struggle with being different from their peers. Max isn't as smart as Kevin. Kevin isn't as big. That doesn't stop them from coming together and forming a bond so strong that all the bullies don't get to them. But things will change for both of our boys. Maybe for the better or maybe for the worse.
The purpose of this podcast is to reach the people who might feel alone, or maybe they aren't, and want to hear about friendships. In this podcast, we strive to be a safe place where people can open up just like our book, Freak the Mighty.
Our podcast is about friendship, bullying, and growth. We plan to try and help those in need or those wanting to help others. They both get bullied throughout the story. They get chased by Tony D and his gang in the lake. They get chased with a knife.
The kids in the class are calling him names like MaxiPad. They were also bullying Max and saying stuff about his dad. His dad says a bunch of insulting stuff to Freak. Max's dad says never trust the crippled.
It was handled by Max just ignoring them and Freak using his words to put people in their place. Elaboration. Freak gets on Mighty's shoulders and escapes the bully, Tony D, and his gang by running into the pond and the police getting to the scene before they get beat up. Elaboration 2. When Tony D is chasing Freak and Mighty, he gets stuck in the mud on the bottom of the pond. It gives them time to escape. Evidence 6. Max doesn't fight back or range out physically. He usually sits back and tries to keep quiet. Elaboration 2. Freak, known as Kevin, notices the bullying, sticks up for Max using his quick, smart words.
Good morning or good afternoon, Mr. Hayes.
Good afternoon to you, Christian.
Thank you very much for coming down and helping us with our podcast.
Glad I could help.
So we have some questions for you. And the first question is, has any conflict in school reminded you of anything similar in your life?
Why, yes. I can honestly say that many student conflicts remind me of the conflicts my own children have at home. So yes, I am often reminded of things outside of school while I'm in school.
The second question is, who is your best buddy and how did you meet them?
My best buddies in school are Mr. Katie and Mr. St. Clair. I met them here, of course. But I have two friends, my best friends outside of school, who I've known since I was about 9 or 10 years old. And I've remained close with them my whole life. I'm lucky. I've got good friends. Let that be a lesson to you, kids. Have good friends. Be loyal. Be kind.
Has there been a conflict in your classroom and how did you resolve it?
Try to do some conflict resolution by having maybe the students drop by after school and talking it out. Oftentimes talking does help. If the problems can't be resolved by talking, we just keep them separated. Keep the peace, so to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes, for, again, coming down to help us with our podcast and taking your time to help us with this. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Good luck. Great job.
We are here with Miss Nicholas, the tech teacher, and we're going to ask her a few questions. I'm going to start. When a student asks for advice, what is your thought process and how do you try and help?
Advice about what, though? That's such a broad question.
If a student comes asks about advice for a relationship or a friendship or a family thing, what do you do?
I try to answer and remember what it was like to be a teenager and give them information that I think will be helpful to help their situation. Or if they're having a really hard time, maybe call their counselor.
Okay, your turn.
Have you ever witnessed a friendship breakup and did you try to help? Have you ever witnessed a friendship breakup, and did you try and help?
Do you mean like witness hear someone do it, or just in general in my life in the school? My usual advice to that is that if you're having a problem with someone, that you don't have to like everybody, you have to be nice to everybody. But if it's not your friend and they're not going to treat you like a friend, then sometimes friend breakups are not the worst thing.
You can give that, Jeb. Thank you. And our third question is, what's your favorite way to make someone's day, and what's something that makes your day?
Favorite way to make someone else's day? I used to give out candy, but then I had ants, so no more candy. I don't know. I don't know what I do to make anyone's day. I try not to yell, which is a lot sometimes, depending on the grade level. And yes.
We are here with Miss Lapatowski. She is one of the counselors, and we're going to be asking her some questions about friendship and bullying. So our first question is, what is the worst case of bullying you have seen, and how did you resolve it? And Miss Moreland told us she couldn't really tell us the exact details, so give us a general idea of how it affected the students and how you helped resolve.
Sure. So correct, I can't go into specifics, but I would say in terms of how it affected the student or students, the worst cases I've seen where kids don't, it shatters their self-esteem. They avoid coming to school. I've had kids be upset that they've, unfortunately had thoughts about hurting themselves or others because of it. So it can have very serious, long-lasting implications.
And how did you help resolve or diffuse the tension between those situations?
Sure. Every case is very different. I would say not that severe of a case, but other cases that was maybe more, maybe not had the same effects on someone. There are times where we can do what we call conflict resolution and bring kids together. However, if it is really a true case of bullying, that's not always appropriate. So sometimes helping it out is educating both sides. So educating the bully, what they did wrong, what they could do in the future, maybe even looking into why they chose to react that way. And then for the victim, counseling and other continued supports and check-ins on them.
Okay, thank you. Our next question is, what helped you decide that you wanted to be a counselor or a teacher? Which I'm pretty sure you were a teacher first, if that's correct. So what helped you want to be a teacher? And during that, what helped you decide, hey, I want to switch to counseling?
Sure. So I was very lucky that I knew what I wanted to do when I was about your guys' age. I started working at a day camp in my town. And from there, I always knew I wanted to work with kids and wanted to be a teacher, which I was at first. And while I was teaching, I was in a district where students had a lot of needs, a lot of kids who struggled emotionally, financially. And I realized how much of my time was spent helping them. And I felt like I could help students more in the counseling area. So that's ultimately how I changed, but always still wanted to work with the same age group.
Okay, and our next question is, have you had like a really good friend that helped you through something, and how did they help you?
So I when I was very new to teaching, I lost my father. And I had a friend who also is a mental health counselor, really helped support me, during that time.
That is all our questions. Thank you. We're really grateful for your help and your insight and experience. And yeah.
Thank you, guys.
You can stop recording now, Christian. How do you try and help students when they ask for advice?
When they ask for advice, I try my hardest to be as honest as possible with them, as legally as I can. And I always try to refer them to a counselor or a CST member or somebody in case they need more than what I can provide.
Okay, and the second question is, did the way you help students change when you became vice principal?
It did, because when I was a teacher, it was like my own little class family, and I could kind of handle it certain way. But as a vice principal, not only do I want to help everybody, but at the same time, and make sure everybody's safe, but at the same time, I do have a code of conduct that I have to follow. So that definitely plays a part in it because it's a whole school instead of my own little classroom.
What is the best advice you've gotten from your best friend?
Well, the best advice I've got, he says a lot of good things. But we do always agree on this, and we remind each other a lot of it, is that everybody is on their own journey, and it's just our job to help them on that journey, not to push them in any way, shape, in a certain way. Yeah, that's a good one, right?
And that is all of our
That's
questions.
it? Okay,
Thank you
babies.
very much.
Easy peasy, thank you.